Hi everybody, it's Tuesday evening. Just a quick video because I've had one request about some issues with exercise 1E. I'm specifically going to go through exercise 1E question 2. So if you are struggling with that one at all, you can have a quick look at this video to find out more. I think I mentioned possibly in the first video also there is a solution bank on Maths and Physics Tutor, whatever it bloody hell's called. Feel free to use that as well. But if anybody, if you are struggling with a question and you want a video of how to do it, just email me and I'll try and get it done as quickly as possible. Especially this time of day because I've managed to get out of bath time and bedtime, which is good. That's from my son, not me, by the way. Okay, so the question is exercise 1E question 2. Minus x squared minus 10x minus 5 all over x plus 1 squared, so we've got a repeated factor, and x minus 1. And the question says we need to write that in this form. It very handily tells us what form we have to write it in so we don't have to remember that we need the repeated factor in there, and we end up with 3 different terms. Okay, so that's what it wants us to do over x minus 1. So what we can do is we can multiply out. So we're going to get minus x squared minus 10x minus 5 is equal to, now I'm going to miss a step out here a little bit, but if I multiply this stuff through by that, one of the x plus 1s will cancel out with the bottom. So I'm going to be left with d lots of x plus 1, x minus 1. I'm just going to miss these steps out just because I know this isn't an issue for the person who asked me about this. X plus 1 squared will cancel with x plus 1 squared, so that's going to be e x minus 1. If you don't understand where these things have come from, please have a go and then get back to me. And the last one is going to be fx plus 1 all squared. Okay, so I'm left with this, and there's some good news and some bad news. If I pick x is 1, that will definitely kill this one and this one. If I use x as minus 1, that will kill this one and this one. The problem is though that I'm going to get this one gets killed both times, and so I have some slight issues with d. So let's find the first two first. Okay, so let's say x is 1. At x equals 1, we've got minus 1 squared minus 10 minus 5 is equal to. Okay, this gets killed because 1 minus 1 is 0. This gets killed because 1 minus 1 is 0. And so we're left with f times 1 plus 1 squared, which is 2 squared. So in other words, 4f is equal to, that's minus 1 squared before I get that one wrong. So that's 1 squared is 1, so that's minus 16 altogether. I can imagine that's a mistake I'd have made if I was in your shoes sitting an exam. Minus 4. To get round that, make sure you put brackets on these things if you are doing so. If you're squaring a negative number, that is. Okay, so that's x equals 1. And x equals minus 1, we've got minus 1 squared minus 10 lots of minus 1, take away 5. Again, this becomes 0, this one becomes 0, and I'm left with e minus 1, take away another 1. So that's 1 minus, this becomes a positive. So that's 10, take away 5 is 5, and take one more is 4. And this is minus 2e. And this is going to be e is equal to minus 2. I don't know how many of you can hear the craziness going on behind me. I think my child is having all of his trains removed from him currently. Okay, so that's fine. So e's negative 2. Now, the last issue is the fact that it's difficult to get hold of D because these two values so far have both killed it. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to pick some other value of x, and if we pick some other value of x, then we will know how much this is. We'll know how much this is altogether because we've got a value of x and we know what E is. We'll know what this is because we know what F is and we could pick a value of x. And we'll know what those bits are because we're picking a value of x. And so the only unknown left will be D. So more often than not in these scenarios, the best thing to do is pick x equals 0 because it makes the calculation most easy. So I'm going to have minus 0 squared minus 10 lots of 0, take away 5 is equal to D lots of, okay, so we've got 0 plus 1 and 0 take away 1. Then we've got negative 2 lots of 0 take away 1 plus F. F was negative 4 lots of 0 plus 1 squared. And if we calculate all of that, that's nothing. Minus 10 minus 5 more is minus 15. This thing here, so that's 1, that's negative 1 times together gives you negative 1, so that's a negative D. Minus 2, and that's 0 minus 1, that is a 0, not a negative 0, if there's such a thing. So negative 1 times negative 2 is plus 2. 1 plus 0 all squared is 1, times by minus 4 is minus 4. So plus 2 and minus 4 gives me minus 2. And if I add 2 to both sides, that becomes negative 13, he hopes. We just check that. 2 take away 4 is definitely negative 2. Add 2 to both sides, that's good. And so that must mean that D is equal to 13. Right, let's just check that's actually right, shall we? Before I post this and look really silly. Exercise 1E, you've probably got there already. Exercise 1E, 3, negative 2 and negative 4. Okay, I'm really wrong. What have I done? Oh, what I've done wrong is that 0 times 10 is nothing. So this becomes minus 5, you absolute wombat. So if I add sum to both sides now, that's minus 3, so that's 3. Okay, that's fine. I have redeemed myself. I do understand that 0 times anything is 0 most of the time. Anyway, hope that's useful for the person who emailed me and for anybody else who's struggling with things. Like I said, if you're struggling with any questions, just give me an email and I'll endeavour to go through them. And I'm going to post them like this, not mentioning any names, but I'm just going to post them like this because more often than not, if one person's got a question, at least another one's got the same question. If you're listening to this tonight, have a lovely evening and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye-bye.